Hello students, today we are studying the new point, that is precision and accuracy measurement. To know more about the term precision and accuracy, actual value, accepted value or accuracy measurement. Now first, the aim of any measurement is to get the actual value called as true value or accepted value of the quantity. Nearness of the measured value to the true value is called as the accuracy of measurement. Larger the accuracy, smaller is the error. Now, accuracy depends upon the sensitivity or least count. Means the smallest quantity that can be measured for the measuring equipment. Now look at the diagram or figure which shows the difference between error, absolute error. Now, burette reading of 10.2 for all three burette situations, the reading would be noted as 10.2. Here, it is the marking of 10 ml, 10.1, 10.2. Same in case of all the three burettes. Now, for all these three situations, the reading would be noted as 10.2 ml. It means that there is an uncertainty, means not certain or not sure about the digit operating after the decimal points in reading 10.2. Here 10 ml, 10.1, 10.2. Lower meniscus is there. Here 10 ml, it is in between 1 and 2 ml. 10.1 and 10.2 ml. And here in case of this burette, here 10 ml, 10.1, 10.2 and 10.3. So it is the in between value of 10.2 and 10.3. So what is the problem? It means that there is an uncertainty about the digit operating after the decimal points in reading. This is because the least count of the burette is 0.1 ml, meaning of the reading 10.2 ml is that the true value of reading lies between 10.1 to 10.3 ml. This is indicated by writing 10.2 plus minus 10.1. Means how can we write this? The meaning of the reading 10.2 ml is that the true value of the reading lies between 10.1 ml to 10.3 ml. Okay, and it is indicated by writing 10.2 plus minus 0.1 ml. Okay, now why this is so? This is because the least count of the burette is 0.1 ml. So here the burette reading has an error of plus minus 0.1 ml, and error may be expressed as absolute or relative errors. Now relative or absolute error. Absolute error is nothing but the observed value minus true value. It is expressed as observed value minus true value. The relative error is the ratio of absolute error to the true value expressed as percentage. Now how can we write the formula? relative error is equal to absolute error upon true value into 100%. There can be an error measurement due to the number of reasons, including the inefficiency of a person. There can be an error in the measurement due to the number of reasons, including inefficiency of a person doing measurement. Means manual error is there. How to handle instrument and equipment is depend upon person to person. So manual error, then instrumental error, these are some errors are we can face during the measurement. Okay. So to minimize the error, multiple readings of the same quantity are noted. If the readings match closely, then they are said to have a high precision. Means precision is nothing but the high precision is the prerequisites of high accuracy, and precision is expressed in terms of deviation, and absolute deviation is the modulus of the difference between an observed value and arithmetic mean for the set of several measurements made by the same way. What is meant by high precision? High precision is the prerequisite of high accuracy. Means to minimize the error, multiple readings of the same quantity are noted, and if all the readings match closely, then they are said to have a high precision. Now precision is expressed in terms of deviation, and absolute deviation is nothing but the modulus. This is called as modulus of the difference between an observed value and the arithmetic mean. Here arithmetic mean. Means absolute deviation is nothing but the modulus of observed value and difference between the observed value and arithmetic mean for the set of several measurements made by the same way, and it is measured of absolute error in the repeated observations. Means for any experiment we can take readings, at least 3 readings, and if the readings matches closely, then they are said to have a high precision. So arithmetic mean of all absolute deviations are called as absolute mean absolute deviations. Arithmetic mean of all the absolute deviations is called mean absolute deviation, and the ratio of mean absolute deviation to its arithmetic mean is called as relative deviation. What is meant by relative deviation is nothing but the ratio of mean absolute deviation and arithmetic mean into 100%. Okay. Next point of this chapter is determination of molecular formula. Molecular formula of a compound is the formula which indicate the actual number of atoms of the constituent elements in a molecule. For example, carbon dioxide. It contains 2 elements, that is carbon and oxygen. So how many atoms are there? 1 atom of carbon and 2 atoms of oxygen. So CO2 is the formula for carbon dioxide. So it indicates the actual number of atoms of the constituent element in a molecule. In a carbon dioxide molecule, there are total 3 molecules, out of which 1 is carbon atom and 2 atoms are of oxygen atom. So total 3 atoms are there. It can be obtained from the experimentally determined values of percent experimental composition and molecular mass of that compound. Now, for determination of molecular formula, percent elemental composition and molecular mass of that compound can be obtained. Now, for percent composition and empirical formula, how compounds are formed? Compounds are formed by the chemical combination of different elements. For example, CO2. CO2, that is carbon dioxide, formed by the chemical combination of carbon and oxygen. Okay. Now, quantitative determination of the constituent element by suitable method provide the percent elemental composition of compound. Means if the percent total is not 100, the difference is considered as per the percent oxygen. From the percent composition, the ratio of the atoms of the constituent element in the molecule is calculated. It means that percent composition and empirical formula, we can see here, the simplest ratio of atoms of the constituent element in a molecule is called as the empirical formula of that compound. Now, molecular formula can be obtained by the empirical formula if the molar mass is known. Okay, the molar mass of a substance under examination is determined by some convenient method. Now, the next point is chemical reactions and stoichiometric calculations. Now, first we see calculations based on a balanced chemical equations are known as stoichiometric calculations. What type of calculations we need? A balanced chemical equations on which the calculations are based are known as stoichiometric calculations. Now, balanced chemical equation is symbolic representation of a chemical reaction. It supplies the information. What type of information it supplies? It indicates the number of moles of reactant involved in a chemical reaction and the number of moles of product formed. Means how many moles of reactant are involved in a chemical reaction to get a product, and again give the information about the number of moles of the product formed. Okay. Next point is it indicates the relative masses of the reactant and product linked with the chemical change. Means what type of chemical changes occur in the reaction, it indicated by the relative masses of reactant and product. Okay. Third is it again indicate the relationship between the volumes of gaseous reactant and product at standard temperature pressure. Means if gaseous reactant is involved in the chemical reaction, then the relationship between the volume of gases means reactant and the product formed at standard temperature pressure should be indicated. Okay. Now, in which first is stoichiometric problems. What is mean by stoichiometric problems or calculations? Calculations based on a chemical reaction or chemical equations are known as stoichiometric calculations. Now, stoichiometric problems are the problems based on the mass-mass relationship of reactant and product. Problems based on the mass-volume relationship, and third is volume-volume relationship. Okay. Some steps are involved in problems based on the stoichiometric calculations. Now what types of steps are involved? We can see steps involved, in which the first step is write down the balanced chemical equation or chemical formula representing the chemical reaction. A well balanced chemical equation is written. Next point is write the number of moles of relative masses and volumes of reactant and product. Okay. Third is relative masses or volume should be calculated from the respective formula mass, referring to the conditions of standard temperature and pressure. Means relative mass and volume should be calculated. Okay. Fourth point is apply the unitary method to calculate the known factor or factors as required by the problem. Unitary method is used, okay, or applied to calculate the unknown factors required by the problem. Now we can solve one example based on stoichiometric problems and calculations. Okay, in which problem is calculate the mass of carbon dioxide and water formed on the complete combustion of 24 gram of methane gas, and given information is atomic mass of carbon is 12, hydrogen is 1 U, that is united mass, and oxygen is 16 U, that is 16 united mass. Now we can solve the problem, in which what are the steps? First step is write down the balanced chemical reaction or balanced chemical equation representing the chemical reaction. Now what is given? Complete combustion of methane gas, means methane is written here, formula is CH4, that is a methane gas which is gaseous in state, and complete combustion means oxygen required for combustion. So oxygen is here written as 2O2, means 2 moles of oxygen gas. Okay, gives the product carbon dioxide and water molecule. Okay, now first we see what are the atomic masses of these elements. Now atomic mass of carbon is 12 U. Okay, so we write 12 plus atomic mass of hydrogen is 1 U. So 1 into 4 will be 4. Here 4 hydrogens are used. So 1 into 4 will be 4. So 12 of carbon, atomic mass of carbon, and 4 for 4 atoms of hydrogen. So 12 plus 4 gives 16. Here 2 in bracket 16. 16 is the atomic mass of oxygen, and O2 into 2. So it gives 16 into 2 will be 32. 32 into 2 will be 64. So 64 gram of O2. Here carbon dioxide. 12 is the atomic mass of carbon plus in bracket O2. O2 having 16 is the atomic mass of oxygen and into 2. Here for H2O, that is water, 2 into 2 atoms are used. So 2. 1 atom of oxygen is 16, having atomic mass 16. So total will be 16 into 2 will be 32. So here 2 plus 16 will be 18. 18 into 2 will be 36 gram. Now hence 16 gram of methane on complete combustion will produce 44 gram of CO2. Here 16 gram of methane on complete combustion gives 44 gram of CO2. Now 24 gram of CH4 will require 24 divided by 16 into 44 gives 66 gram of CO2. Similarly, 16 gram of methane will produce 36 gram of water. Okay. Now 24 gram of methane will gives 24 divided by 16 into 36 will give 54 gram of water. So on complete combustion of 24 gram of methane gas, it gives 54 gram water and 66 gram of CO2. Got it? So this is the problem based on stoichiometric calculations. Thank you.